Hey, y'all, welcome to the Carolina Chuck podcast. I'm your host, Carolina Chuck, your friendly guide to all things Northern New York. As a South Carolina native who made the journey to the picturesque town of Watertown, New York, I'm here to share my unique perspective on the charming region and deep dive into the heart of the local community. Join me as we uncover the hidden gems, untold stories, and vibrant culture that make Northern New York a truly special place. So get ready to explore, discover, and connect with me, Carolina Chuck, on this exciting podcast adventure. All right, y'all, what's happening? So I'm going to give you a rundown on the first episode. Now, the first episode I'm putting on this podcast is with a guy by the name of Joe Fay. Now, he is a local state trooper who is also a TikToker. Now, the guy's got 3.5 million followers. And what caught my attention about this guy is he drives a Tesla Cybertruck in the small town of Watertown, New York, which is, it ain't the smallest town in the world, but it's pretty exciting for the area. Anyways, so my son, he's been obsessed with Cybertrucks since he was 4 years old, and he just turned 7. So a little background on how I connected with this guy. It was on a Tuesday. We were at Taco Bell. We always go there for Taco Tuesdays. My son sees a Cybertruck coming down the road. He said, "Dad, there's a Cybertruck." So we run out, make a quick video. I post it to Facebook, and the Facebook community helped me track this guy down. They said, "Oh, that's Joe Fay." So I ended up reaching out to him on TikTok, and he recognized me because I go by the name Carolina Chuck. I've branded myself that way because I sell cars up here and I cut radio commercials, and it's just kind of made a name for myself that way. And he recognized me, and he hit me back up right away. He said, "Yeah, man, bring your son out and let him check out the truck." So I surprised him on his birthday, and it was really cool. And so I invited him to come on this show. Now, this is going to be the first show that they air on TV. So what I'm doing is I record for 30, 40 minutes, but I got to turn it to a 30-minute TV show, which means, commercials, and I trim it down to about 20 minutes of actual content. And so I pulled the whole interviews off, put them on my podcast, and put them on YouTube. So you can check them out on the Carolina Chuck YouTube channel as well. And if you're in the local area, check us out on NBC Watertown. Anyways, let me get right to the show. So this is numero uno with the Carolina Chuck podcast with Joe Fay. Check us out. It's pretty wild how I ended up meeting you, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm at the Taco Bell, and my son's he's been obsessed with the Cybertruck since for 2 years. And I didn't even think they were real things. Mm-hmm. I was like, that thing looks too weird to be a real thing. And we're at Taco Bell, and he's like, "Dude, Dad, there's a Cybertruck." And I look out the window, I see, dang, it's a Cybertruck.
Somebody had sent me that video that night or the next morning.
Yeah.
And look at this kid's freaking out over the Cybertruck and something about Taco Tuesday. And it's like, I know him. I know roughly. I've heard of him before. And so I thought it was funny. I saw that video, and then a few people had sent it to me. And then you had reached out. And
and that was pretty cool because you're big on social media.
Yeah.
Social media helped me find you because I posted it, and then people was like, "Oh, I know who that is." And Josh Cox, they're like, "Josh Cox can get a hold of him."
Yeah.
And and I'm thinking, what cooler thing? Because my son's birthday was that weekend or whatever, and I was like, let me see if I can get a hold of him because he wants a Quest or some kind of
the VR.
Yeah, VR. I'm like, dude, I ain't spending $800 on your birthday.
No, they're expensive.
Oh God,
yeah,
and
they're expensive.
Shoes and everything. Yeah. So I got a hold of Josh, and then I was like, you know what? He said he was going to get a hold of you, and I just like, shoot, I was like, dude's got 3.5 million followers on TikTok. There's no way he's going to see my message. So I was like, I'm going to risk it.
And it was just chance, too, because I never look at my messages on anything.
Yeah.
Because I get quite a bit, and I never look at them. Most of them are spam. Most of them are, this person sent you a video, this person, whatever. And I just so happened to, I think I might have accidentally clicked on the message portion and saw it up there, and I'm like, I recognize that name, so I clicked on it, and I'm like, it's a local guy, so I'll respond back because...
That was super dope. I was like, wow. He hit me right away. He texted me. I was like, what? I was like, no way. And And then I ended up riding out there and checking out your car. And when I got there and I looked at it, I was like, wow, this thing is
it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
It looks strange.
Yeah. It was way cooler than way more aggressive.
In person,
like,
right?
Way more aggressive.
Yeah.
And you put special tires on there?
No, that's what it comes with.
Really?
It comes with those all-terrains
Holy
now.
moly.
Yep. But in pictures, it looks kind of goofy in pictures, and I'll admit it, it's not a very good-looking vehicle. But in pictures, it looks goofy. But in person, it looks different in person.
It absolutely.
It looks a lot better, I think, in person.
Yeah. So you're a state trooper.
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Right around here.
Really, dude,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was actually raised by a police officer. My dad's, he was when I was born, he was the chief of police in Great Falls, South Carolina.
Yeah,
and he decided to move up closer towards Charlotte. I don't know why we decided to move that way, but he was a captain at Clover. Then he got on the sheriff's department, and so yeah, I've had experience with law enforcement.
It keeps you busy. For sure. Between that and the social media, I don't have a time, hardly any time off.
Dude.
I'm busy.
So let's go back to the beginning. So how did this TikTok thing happen?
So it's kind of funny because TikTok had really just come out. It was early 2020.
Yeah.
So it was like January of 2020. TikTok had like just come out. A buddy of mine says, "Hey, you got to download TikTok. It's these funny videos." And I'm like, "All right." So I download it and I'm watching videos, and he's like, "You gotta post some videos." I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna post a video of? You know, I got nothing to post a video of.
Right.
So one of them was just a stupid little video I posted. It got no views. I posted another video. It got no views. And I was like, I'll do a video of the car that I have. I had a Tesla Model 3 at the time. Did a video of that, and it started blowing up. And at the time, my buddy and I were having a competition, who can get the most views on a video. He had one get like 100,000 views. And I was like, I'm going to try and beat that. So it started to rise up, got to about 100, 150, up to like 1 million views, which was crazy. I gained like 1,000 followers overnight.
Wow.
And, I was like, this is pretty cool. And then the next day, the account was gone. My account was banned. It was gone. You couldn't find it anywhere. I still don't know what happened. I have no idea. The account was just gone. They might have been some sort of mix-up with, I didn't put in an email at the time. I only had a username. It was something like that. It was very early on. All you needed was a username and a password. I didn't put in the email or whatnot, so the account was gone. So I said, it was a good run. Whatever. Wnobody was making money on there at the time. Right. No one was doing anything. So I'm like, it was a hobby. It was done. I made like 5 videos, and that's it. He's like, no, you got to do it again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll do it again. I'll make another account, and I'll start where I left off with the Tesla videos, and one of them just went mega.
What was
viral.
your username at the time?
It was
the first one.
It was the same one, jf.ok.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't know what to pick for a username. I was like, I don't want to use my real name because I don't want people knowing that it's either me or no one whatnot. And he goes, well, JF for like Joe Fay. I'm like, all right. I was like, what else? Because it's got to be more than 2 letters. And he's like, Joe Fay, okay. And I'm like, what about if I just did like JF? He's like, that would work. I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. But I had to have a period in there, so JF.OK is what it came about. So it was mainly just came about because I didn't want to use my real name.
Right.
And so I just used my initials, and I've
and
never
when
changed
TikTok
it.
first came out, dude, I've got daughters, right? And it took me a minute to get on TikTok because all I seen them was over in the corner dancing. And
That's
stuff.
all it was.
And I was like, this is not for adults until I don't really know when I started noticing TikTok was heck, probably when I came up here 2.5 years ago. When I started the dealership, me and Lee started a TikTok, and we just started having fun with it.
Well, that's
really
it.
Noticing.
All it was dancing.
Yeah.
And I think that mine kind of took off because at the time, all it was dancing. And then mine was just a little bit different than everything else. Nobody else was posting videos about Teslas. Nobody really even knew about them. It was early 2020. And I mean, they had just started to become big a few years before that.
Right.
So nobody really knew much about them. So I think that's kind of what got me a good following in the beginning.
What got you into Teslas to start with?
I don't know. It was like when they first came out in mainstream in like 2012. I saw them. I'm like, those are pretty cool looking cars. They look like they're pretty fast. They're pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
I was a senior in high school in 2012. I'm like, I'm going to try and get one day. But at the time, they're $100,000. So I said, this is not even realistic. So I forgot about it for a while. And then they announced the Model 3, and that was 2016, I think they announced it. And it came out in 17. And they said, we're going to make a $35,000 version. And everyone's like, there's no way. Your cheapest car is 80 or 90,000. There's no way you're going to. And, for like a year and a half, they didn't. It was like 50, 60,000. And then it was 2019 where they announced the $35,000 Tesla Model 3 is out. And I said, that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
So it ended up being 35, and then you added like 2,000 to get a little bit of extra range, custom interior color and all that. But that was why I got it, because I was like, for $42,000, I think at the time.
Yeah.
I was the only person around to have a Tesla. And I said, it's a cool car. I'll have it for $42,000, which was already in my mind ridiculously overpriced, like expensive.
Yeah.
I'd never bought anything close to that in my life. So, but that's why I got it. And then as soon as I got that car, I was like, this is the greatest car.
I mean, my experience with Teslas, we had a few on the lot at the dealership, and I got to go on a couple test drives, and I got to drive them myself, and the way the acceleration, I mean, it's
just
like
instant.
It's almost like there's no shift. It was comparable to like a roller coaster drop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is absolutely, it's instant.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If I hadn't been doing the social media, would I think I'd be this involved in Tesla? Probably not. I probably would have had a couple and then moved on.
Right.
But now it's come to a point where it's like I kind of have to have one for social media, because if I don't post videos about Teslas, it's not my niche. It's not going to get the views. And
right.
now it's like it's a second income and it's a second job. So I kind of have to have one in the lot at all times in order to do my second job.
I mean, heck, dude. I mean, they're freaking cool vehicles, anyways. I mean, it's not like you're going wrong. But now that you're getting paid to drive one, it's pretty neat.
And now it's like, and that's why I got the new truck. I said that's the next step. I did, the Model 3, and then I went to the Model X, which was insane at the time, and then I went to the fastest car they've ever made, which was even more insane. And I said, the only thing I can go from there is to get the truck. It's the only.
So do you know how many Tesla trucks there are in New York? Because I was told there were 3 and you had the one.
So when I got mine about a month ago, I asked the delivery center, and there's only 2 delivery centers in New York where you can pick one up from: Turning Stone and Mount Kisco. Mount Kisco is right on the border of New York City. So Turning Stone had only delivered 3 when I picked mine up, and one of them was an hour before me. So when I picked it up, there was probably 3 to 5 in New York.
Okay.
Mine was like VIN number 4,000, so it's number 4,000 something in the world. Now they're up to like 8,000 or 9,000. So I have to imagine there's more, but I've only seen one other one in person. We went down to Myrtle Beach a week and a half ago, and one pulled up next to me in person. Hey. That was the only other one I've seen.
I was actually, matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I had to go down to, my dad wasn't doing too good, and he was down in South Carolina. Well, he's from South Carolina, but he was around Charlotte where he was in the hospital. He's doing fine now. But,
that's good.
On the way down, we passed one on a truck. He was getting, I don't know, not towed, but it was
getting delivered.
Yeah, somewhere. I was like, hey, there's another freaking Cybertruck. And but yeah, that's the thing is neat. And like I've been going through your TikToks, I was like, I gotta figure out some stuff to talk to you about, I saw the finger breaking thing. I was like, God dang, that hurt.
That's interesting. That was.
But you do really well on the videos. Like I know you're a pro at it now, but you sound like a pro too.
Well, it's taken, if you look at my early videos in the first couple of years, that was when TikTok was 10-second videos. And that's all you could post was up to 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. So my videos were I point, shoot for 10 seconds, I'm done, and I post. Yeah. There was no editing and there was nothing. But now, they only pay you if the video is over a minute. So I can't ramble for a minute straight and make it interesting and make people want to stay for the video. So now I've got to film, 15, 20 different clips, edit them all, throw in the captions, make it all look good. And now it takes some time to where I can't post 10 videos a day. I can
that rabbit hole of editing, dude. You start that rabbit hole. Look at all these cameras.
I know. it's editing is the longest part. Whew. I could take 20 minutes of footage and put it into a 1 minute video, and it took me hours to edit.
All right, so let's go to when you first was like, "Hey, I could get paid doing this."
Yep.
And how did that happen? Like, what was the first thing? How did the? I don't know.
So I think my first amount of money that I was making on there, I can't remember if it was actually from TikTok or if it was from a brand. Okay. One of my most early brand deals that I can remember was, it's weird saying this, but there was this guy who narrates like terms and conditions. Like, you go on for an Apple iPhone, there's terms and conditions that are 50 pages long.
Okay.
This guy would go through and he would read the terms and conditions. And it was meant to be a put you to sleep thing you listen to when you're sleeping. So that was his whole thing. He filmed, 8 to 10 hours straight, and it was meant to listen to while you sleep. He had a calming voice and he put you to sleep. So he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I want you to advertise this for me." So how am I going to do that? And he goes, "Just all you have to do is go live, leave it live overnight, put up a poster in the background saying, 'Go watch this podcast, go watch this, listen to this while you sleep.'" And he goes, "Play one of my videos in the background." Easy enough. He's like, "I'll give you $500. I said, "You give me $500 for just leaving my phone on all night on live?" He goes, "Yeah." Done. So I did it. And that was like the first brand deal that I can think of that was like, somebody reached out and wanted me to advertise for them. Which was crazy. But then it led into, TikTok started paying for views. Not very much. I think per 1,000 views, it was like a penny or 2 pennies. So, a 1 million view video is $20, $10-$20, which at the time you could get 1 million views on a video, every couple videos you could. Now it's a little bit tougher. But, they initially just started out with just, a penny or 2 penny every 1,000 views. And that was how they paid. But now they do it differently. And a lot of the money back then was brand deals reaching out.
So they reach out to you, or have you got to where you're like targeting brands now?
I have them all reach out to me. I advertise, my business email right on TikTok, which I get probably 50 emails a day that are a lot of spam. But you get to fish through a couple of them, and a couple of them are actual, real companies saying, we've got Tesla floor mats, or we've got this phone case that hooks up to your Tesla that we want you to advertise. And for me, if it's like Tesla related and stuff like that, I can seamlessly put it into a video without it being like, "Hey, this is an ad, this is an ad."
Yeah.
And so it'll do a little bit better than just me saying, "Hey, buy this phone case." And if I like seamlessly add it in. But every now and again I'll get one of those. There'll be a couple of brands a month probably that'll reach out. It'll be real.
That's really kind of a cool thing, because I'm starting to learn a little bit more about what views are worth.
Yep.
I mean, as far as we're starting TV stuff now, and how commercials and stuff like that work. So you got to figure on social media, you're getting 1 million views. That's a lot of
views are expensive.
Yeah,
if you promote on TV, or if you've ever promoted something, and even you can promote on TikTok now. Yeah. And $100 only gets you to like 20,000 views.
Right.
So for somebody who can put out a video that might get 100,000 or 1 million views, that could potentially be worth $10,000 to a company. So if they can pay this social media creator, $1,000 or $2,000 to make a video on this product rather than advertising on Google for $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000, they're going to jump on that and try and advertise for cheaper.
Wow.
But advertising's expensive.
All right. So one thing we were talking about right before we started doing this, you talked to kind of one of my favorite 2 people in the world, Bob and Tom.
Yep.
This morning, right?
Well, I didn't actually get the chance to talk to them. So I was just sitting at home. I was drinking coffee, and someone I work with texted me and said, "You're on the Bob and Tom show." I said, "No way." I said, "Yeah, you were just on." So I go to bobandtom.com, and I started listening into the radio, and I caught the last 5 seconds of it. They were just talking about a Cybertruck. So I said, "I got to be close. Must have just happened.
Yeah.
So I went on their YouTube and like scrolled back a little bit, and sure enough, they mentioned my name. This guy, they basically said this idiot broke his finger in the front of his Cybertruck, and they cracked a couple of jokes about needing to charge the truck before we go to the emergency room. Like, hang on, I got to wait a few hours before we drive you there. But no, it was funny. It was I got a good laugh out of it because
that's pretty cool.
It was a funny moment.
That's really cool.
So that those videos are starting to kind of circulate around the internet now, which is kind of cool.
I mean, Bob and Tom are big.
They're pretty big, big. I used to listen to them at work in the car on the radio for a little bit, but it was funny that got brought up, and it was only about a minute or so long, but it's still pretty cool.
So what happened with the finger breaking thing? How did that happen?
So basically, it's a trend to like see what your Cybertruck's front trunk can crush. It's automatic, so it goes down and it'll crush things because when it first came out, there weren't many sensors on it. And the truck is very sharp. It's stainless steel, so it would like slice things in half if you put it in like a certain spot. Yeah. And everyone's like, you got to watch out for your fingers and everything like that. It's going to cut them off. So, the video started with me like crushing a pepper or an orange or a water bottle. And, it would stop on most things. It would sense it and then go back up. And that was it. So I saw a video of a guy doing it and his finger got stuck. It like crushed his finger and was stuck in there. Oh. So, I made a video, I stitched it and I was like, there's no way. So I did my arm and then my hand and then my finger. And sure enough, it went out and opened back up. So I was like, see, it's not going to crush your finger. He must have done something wrong. Something must have happened. Yeah. So that video gets posted. And then because of his video, one of the head guys at Tesla reached out to him and was like, hey, by the way, there's an algorithm with the trunk. The first time it tries to shut, it's going to give it like a 1 out of 10 aggressiveness to shut. If it gets stopped by something and opens back up, it's going to go to 2 out of 10. If it gets stopped, it's going to go to 3 out of 10. So until that trunk actually shuts, it's going to progressively get stronger and stronger because you're telling it, I want you to shut. It's saying, I can't because something's in the way. And you keep pressing the button to shut it, it's going to keep attempting to shut it harder and harder.
Wow.
So that guy in the video was like, yeah, that was about attempt number 10 when I put my finger in there, and that's why it crushed it. So I did another video, and this was the second video.
Why would he even wait that long?
He didn't know about it at the time.
He didn't know about it.
And I didn't know about it at the time of the second video. So, I had tested a lot before I did my finger. And none of it made it to camera because none of it was any good. So, the only one that I caught on camera was about the 10th time that I tried to shut the trunk and I put my finger there. And I put it there and it closed down. And it closed down with so much strength that it lifted my finger up like that.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, I was able to reach the button. I had to reach all the way around.
That's what I saw. I was like, what? I know he's got to be hitting something maybe in his pocket or something.
Because I was recording on the phone, which is the key to the truck.
Oh.
So I would have had to, swipe out, go to the app, unlock, open up the front trunk. Otherwise, I was stuck there. And in the first video the guy did, he was able to like lift it up manually and get his finger out. But I reached around and clicked it, and it opened up, and I was like, oh man, like there's a dent on the top and bottom of my finger. And then I looked at it and I said, there's a puncture wound like through my skin. And, I was looking at it and I got a video of me going like this and you can see what I thought at the time was my bone on the inside. Yeah. So I'm like, you can see my bone. Like it's deep. But then I realized it was the tendon, which isn't much better.
Yeah.
But it was deep into my finger. And then, so I was like, my finger's broken. Like there's no doubt it crushed something in there. So I waited a little bit and, I had my girlfriend look at it and she's like, you need to go to the hospital. I said, no, I think I'm good. She's like, you should really, really go to the hospital. I said, what are they going to do for me? I might need a stitch. Yeah. But other than that, they're going to put me in a splint. So I went to Kinney's and I got a splint. I wrapped it up with a Band-Aid and splinted it for like 2 or 3 days. And I took it out of the splint and I couldn't really move it. And I'm like, it's definitely broken, but still, the cut's healing. They're not going to do anything for me. They're going to tell me to splint it and that's it. So now it's better. It's still definitely.
I saw you pull the thing off and try it again. I was like, that man is crazy. Dude.
Yeah, that actually, that video I was nervous to do again because I said I don't want to crush it again. So if you rewatch that video, you'll see in the left side of the trunk,
Yeah.
you'll see my wallet in between the trunk. So it hit my wallet before it would hit my finger. So that trunk, it wasn't closing.
Little movie magic.
Yeah, I was making sure that it was not going to close onto my finger that time.
All right, good.
Yeah, if you look back and watch that, you'll get a good laugh and I purposely left it in the background to see if anybody would catch it. Nobody has yet, but
I have to check that out.
In the background, I made sure that the trunk was not going to close that last time because I'm not going through that pain again.
So let me ask you. So you're a local guy from up here, right?
Right from Watertown. Yeah,
from Watertown, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. So how did you end up getting in law enforcement?
I don't know. I've always kind of known that I wanted to be some sort of law enforcement. Ever since I was kind of little, that was my answer. I want to be a cop or something in law enforcement. I tried out for a couple of different jobs before I got into state police. That didn't go very well. And so, I got state police and I was like, this is a really good job. So I went for it and I got it. And I was like, this is what I've been wanting to do. So it's just, even in high school, that was always my answer. I want to be a cop or not necessarily a cop, but I want to do something in law enforcement. So I studied, college law or criminal justice, which is kind of a useless degree because you don't need it to be a cop. But I don't know. I studied like investigations and stuff like that in college. So that really interests me. So when this test came along, I was like, I'm going to take it because it's a once in a lifetime kind of job. And, if I get it, that's amazing. If I don't, something else will pop up.
I mean, but you take that you could take that and go anywhere though.
Right.
I mean, you could keep careering up.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can be a trooper. You can be an investigator. You can go up to sergeant. There's so many things that you can do from this job that really you can do what you want, and you can work what you want, kind of when you want. Once you got some time on, you can move around and do a lot of different things.
That's really cool. I mean, I kind of wish I would have went that route, but I ended up having a kid at like 18, and I was like, it's straight to work. And then it was like, all right, you didn't really kind of get into what I was going to do until later on.
Kids change a lot.
Yes. You have how many kids?
I have one child of my own and then 2 stepkids.
Okay.
So we've got 3 total. So we're busy, but
I bet they like that truck too.
They do. They absolutely, but they don't know what they're riding. And
I
mean, they're seeing it as we got the Cybertruck, and they think it's hilarious when we're driving around and other kids are losing their mind seeing this truck driving around because they're like, why are they taking pictures of our truck? Why are they? Because they're used to it at this point.
Right. That's cool, man.
But they do. They like it. They freak out. I know when I go to pick up the kids from school, they come running out and they're like, Cybertruck.
Yeah.
They love it.
That's pretty. I mean, it's probably one of the, because YouTube, TikTok, everything has made it like where like my 4-year-old was, well, he's 7 now, but when he was like 4, he was telling me about it. And I'm like, what the heck? And that's pretty much the only vehicle he's been talking about. It's not like my 14-year-old wants a Dodge truck, you know what I mean? But
well, it's weird because Tesla, as of like 6 months ago, they didn't do any advertising. Right. So all the people that know about this are from social media, it's from word of mouth. They didn't pay anybody for advertising. They do now a little bit, but they didn't do any commercials, nothing like that. And now you see when the Cybertruck came out, like people like Kim Kardashian, who charges $2 to $5 million for a post on Instagram. Like for your brand to be on there, she charges $2 to $5 million. She's posting, I think she's posted like 5 different times pictures of the Cybertruck for free. She's not getting paid for those. She's just saying because she likes us so much, she's just posting photos of it and videos of it. So that's $20-30 million in advertising for Tesla for free. And I know that even my videos are all for free. I'm not getting paid by Tesla. Everyone who's posting videos of it.
That's what I was going to ask you. Does Tesla do anything? I mean, you have any kind of relationship with them?
Yep. No, the only time I've ever spoken with them was when they reached out and they wanted to post. They did it twice. They wanted to post my video on their Instagram. So Tesla's got a couple of my videos posted on their Instagram.
That's pretty dope.
It's really cool. I definitely liked that, but that's it. That's the only communication I've ever had with them. And which is kind of weird because you think, I mean, at this point, I've got to be close to 2 billion views across all social media.
Right.
Only about Tesla.
So you're not on Facebook, correct?
I am.
You're on Facebook?
Yep. I'm on Facebook under my name, under Joseph Fay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then you're on Instagram. I mean, are they big as TikTok for you or no?
TikTok's 3.5 million. Instagram's only about 20,000. I only post on Instagram because when I post on Facebook, it gets automatically posted to Instagram as well.
Okay.
So Facebook's got like 100,000 followers.
Really?
And then YouTube's got like 120,000 subscribers. But TikTok's a big one.
Okay.
But, it takes, for me to post it on every social media, I've got to film it, edit it, post it to TikTok, and then I've got to go to Facebook, post it to Facebook, go to Instagram, post it there, go to YouTube, post it there, which is, it may not seem like a lot, but it takes a lot of time. So when I can just post it to Facebook and it's automatically to Instagram, it's just the easiest thing for me. It's just, I don't have to worry about.
Now, there's a service that I've been kind of looking into about where you post to that service and then it kicks it to all your social medias or whatever. But I've never used it.
Right. I'd be interested in looking at that because that would save a lot of time.
I was listening to it. There's a podcast that I would listen to. It was The Wolf's Den. It was Jordan Belfort.
Yep.
And he was pitching that service on one of his commercials a while back, but I gotta look into it a little more because as I'm doing this, I don't really use my Instagram, but I gotta get it back hooked up with my Facebook and update it because I haven't used it since probably 2012 or something. But
well, a buddy of mine just reached out to me. He does social media as well. He's in Kansas or Ohio. He's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
So I met him online, but he reached out and told me that right now on YouTube, what's really big is Spanish and Portuguese channels. So I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Beast.
Yes.
He has people.
It was his birthday yesterday.
I saw that. He bought like 26 Teslas he's giving away. But he does. So he has all these different languages as different channels. So he'll have Mr. Beast in Spanish, Mr. Beast in Portugal. So all he does is he posts his English video. His team edits it. He pushes that video to one of his guys who dubs it in Spanish. He goes through and he voices over the entire video in Spanish.
You can almost do that with AI.
Mm-hmm. You can.
And you wouldn't even have to have a guy.
Yep. So now he's got Mr. Beast in English, Mr. Beast in Spanish, Portuguese. He's got 100 different languages. So he can reach everybody in the world. So the buddy of mine that reached out, he's like, hey, man, I'm paying somebody monthly. I send them the video. They voice it over in Spanish and Portuguese. They made me 2 separate YouTubes for those Spanish and Portuguese, and they're going to post them on there and comment to people in those languages from those channels. So, I mean, it's a premium. He's paying for it monthly. But, I mean, if it gets pretty big, it's just 2 more streams of income based on your initial stream of income.
Now, are you making anything off of YouTube?
A little bit. Not a whole lot. The big money in YouTube is long videos, like over 10 minutes long are the big money videos. I can't post over 10 minutes. I can barely get a minute. So my videos on TikTok are over a minute long now, typically between like a minute 1 second to a minute 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. So the ones that are like kind of close to a minute 5 and under, I'll take those and just cut out the last couple seconds, throw it on YouTube as a short. So it'll be under a minute. So I post the YouTube shorts on there.
So a little bit, what's a little bit to you on YouTube? Like as far as
so YouTube used to be decent. I mean, to a point where it was like $1,000 a month if you do pretty well, which is a great secondary income.
Right.
Now I only post on there probably 3 times a week. So it can range anywhere between, it all depends on the views. I mean, if I do a really good month on YouTube, I may make $500 in there. If I do a very average month, it might be $100. It all depends on, it's the views wise. It all depends.
And you're just saying 1 minute videos, is that correct?
Under 1 minute for
Under
YouTube.
1 minute.
Yep, they're shorts.
So 3, yes. Wow.
So I mean, it's
and you're just pulling content off your TikTok,
right?
Anyways.
That's all it is. And I'm just taking. I don't film different videos for every platform, which I could, and potentially make a whole bunch more money, but it would be a whole bunch more time.
Yeah.
So I just take that same video on TikTok, post it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, post it everywhere so that I can be seen kind of everywhere.
I mean, you got a pretty serious career, but
right.
I mean, money's cool too.
Yeah, I've always had multiple jobs. I've always had like a main job and then a secondary income that was less hours per week that could still make some good money. Because I always like that security.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, I have a main job for bills and stuff like that, and then I have a second job for some fun. And that's how I fund my vehicles with social media.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
It's definitely, I never thought I'd be doing it. Absolutely not. In a million years. And, you know, everyone's always asking me, how do you get started in it? How do I do this? And a few years ago on TikTok, I would say jump on TikTok and just start making videos.
Consistency.
Everybody is blowing up on TikTok. TikTok was the first app that you could go out with 0 followers, post a video, and get 1 million views. Nobody else would ever allow you to do that because on Instagram, nobody would see it because you have 0 followers. Mm-hmm. And it would never get pushed out globally. Only your followers would see it. Yeah. And then TikTok was like the first platform to push out your video, no matter how many followers you had, to everybody that wanted to see it. So they were the first one to really make viral videos because, I mean, on YouTube, you could go search for the video, but it would never just pop up on your home screen.
Like a thing. And that's why kind of like Facebook Reels is you get a lot of views on there because it's pretty much
same
TikTok,
thing.
You know?
Yep. Everyone, once TikTok came out, everyone started to see like, hey, there's a lot of traction in short videos. These people nowadays have short attention spans.
Yep.
So YouTube was like, we got to go to shorts. Not everyone's going to watch a 10-minute video. So they went to shorts, and then Facebook went to Reels, and Instagram has Reels. So everybody, even Snapchat has a Reels program now. So everybody's got short videos.
Well, that's cool, dude. Well, look, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you coming.
Of course, thank you.
We'll go down there and look at this truck before you leave.
Go for a ride if you want to.
Yeah, dude. Right. I appreciate you.
Of course. Yeah.